Hi, I'm Wendy. Today I'm going to show you how to attach elastic directly onto the fabric in your garment to form gathers and ruches to use as a style detail. You can use this method of attaching elastic directly onto a garment to achieve a ruching detail like we've got on the side seam of this jersey skirt. So you can see we've got all this gathering, but I can stretch it out and it disappears. That's because on the inside of the seam I've got elastic sewn directly onto the seam allowance. To attach your elastic to your garment, you first need to do the seam in your garment. So I've done my seam here to join my two pieces of fabric. As to what kind of elastic we need to use, we can use really narrow elastic, which is slightly trickier to sew as it is so narrow. If you think you might struggle to sew something as narrow as that, you can use slightly wider elastic, or you can use this clear elastic, which is a little bit stronger and not quite as stretchy. So to start, we just need to cut your elastic to the length that it needs to be. And then we're going to mark the position of the start and the end of the elastic with some pins. So one at the top and one at the end. To attach your elastic, in this case onto the seam allowance, I'm going to position the elastic over my sewing of the seam, and I'm going to put the end of the elastic just above the pin that's marking the start of the elastic position. So I'm going to put the elastic and the seam underneath the presser foot, lower the presser foot and take out that pin because I don't want to sew over it. I'm going to do a few stitches to start with a little reverse just to get the elastic anchored. Once it's anchored, I'm going to stretch it a little bit, but also hold the seam behind the presser foot as well, which is not the normal technique for sewing. Once I've sewn a little way, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stretch the elastic down to the bottom marker, and about halfway along I'm going to grab the elastic and hold it against the seam. That way the elastic's going to be stretched nice and evenly along the seam. I'm going to hold that tight. I'm going to hold the back of the elastic again behind the presser foot, and I'm going to keep sewing. So even though I'm holding the elastic at the front and the back of the presser foot, the machine is still able to feed the fabric through the machine. I'm not holding it so tight that the fabric can't actually travel through the machine. Just keep stopping, repositioning, making sure your elastic's stretched nice and evenly. And then when I get to that last pin, I'm going to stop, take the pin out, do a little reverse to anchor the elastic and stop. So once we've finished, you can see the elastic tries to go back to its original length, which forms the gathers in your fabric. I attach that just with a regular straight stitch because the stitches aren't going to snap because the elastic was stretched as I was sewing it. I'll turn it over to the right side. You can then see the gathers that it's added into the seam.